Hey, welcome to another video. Today we were looking at Savage Divide with Ice Mutation. So with this, I'm going to be running 5 con on everything. Of course, I have the attuned leather pants, so it's going to add 10 to every stat line. So you do see 15 down there at the bottom, 15 focus. Well, that's because the attuned leather pants adds 10 to all categories. Going to go split stack 312, 311 on the strength and dex. 25 int for the extra critical damage on the backstabs. I'm going to also be running the great axe. So this is a random group that got put together, and with any random group in this dungeon, I don't use the damage potion and I don't use the powerful honing stone or the infused coating starting off. I try to gauge to see what the aggro for the tank's going to be. There's a lot of tanks out there that are maybe new to running this that you know, taunt, and they're not really too aggressive with their swings or whatever the case may be. So I don't like getting a bunch of aggro turning around on us on the DPS. So it's always good to measure and see what's going to happen first. You can always throw a coating on as you go, and that's what I chose to do here. So this group ended up being probably the best random group I could have asked for, and the tank was really good, the heals were really good. There's some room for improvement on some pulls, and that's what we kind of go over, and we fine-tuned it last night and ended up running and running and running. So hopefully get to play this with this group here again tonight, and I'll be streaming it, so make sure to tune into that. You can sometimes pull that gorilla back there, and there's one to the left, and go ahead and just kill them all. So that way when you work around, you don't have to deal with them. It'll just speed things up a little bit. Right here, very important, tank. All right, bad move here. Don't go in there like that. When that iguana was to the far left, you want to come up here, smack them on the ass, and bring them up. All right, that way the other two are sitting back there and they won't aggro up. Because you really want one of these at a time, or at least the big guy, the named one at a time. The other two you can take out pretty quickly, but when you have all three licky licks going on, licky tongue. Oh my god, I can't believe we just did that. Sorry, everybody. It's really a lot of slash damage side to side, and it is very difficult for the DPS to try to gauge. Don't res when the ice storm's going, ding dong. All right. Got to be very careful about that, because that stuff's hurting. And in my slash ring, I do have an opal and not an ice gem, so I'm taking a little bit more ice damage than what I would like. I need to get another slash ring so I can put a full, you know, Copperstein Aquamarine in there. All right, tank's got them pulled in a good spot right here, so their backs are toward us. No threat of getting licked. Don't forget about the 2 Gallibles behind the wall where we just came from. Got the water moat and the spore. Right here, they like to pull these guys. You're going to have the lightning guy sprint, so if you're DPS, get the hell out of the way. Sort of gauge the situation. Don't just go in here and start swinging, thinking the tank has aggro, because the gorilla will run up on your backside and hit you. Trying to find the best angle over here would be it. It's kind of tricky because the other guy's hitting this way also, so if they get too close together, you gotta just kind of back off for a second, re-gauge the situation. Still hitting pretty good numbers, 15Ks, 13Ks with the great sword. This is Serenity, so it is insanely OP. They will be nerfing it soon, especially with the new gloves that are going to be coming out within the next season, the artifact gloves that makes you do extra heavy damage. So they're going to have to tune down the Serenity, which is sad, bruh. I worked so hard for it. Make sure you pop the jellyfish, as I call them. If you're low con, they will one-shot you. Now, only one person, which is usually me, always goes to the left up here. There's a gatherable right there, a sulfur chunk, but press the button first. Let the DPS tank and everybody go to the next enemies. If you have a spear here, make sure you're not the guy coming up here doing this. I have over 300 strings, so I can one-shot some of these. So you also want the spear guys with the enfeebling skewer on the enemies. They're more important. One shot, bro. I've been working out. All right, New Year goals. Amazes me how many times people walk right past this platinum. Now right here, the tank needs to go right. Everybody needs to go right. Do not jump down there. That is such a ding dong move. And we got that corrected after this because this is exactly, it was a good learning situation. So I'm glad they did it. Those little jellyfish right there, now I gotta wait. All right, it's one less DPS that you're gonna have. Plus you got those exploding jellyfish still alive. I'm just gonna chance it. And it almost cost me everything. Oh my God. Yeah, you beat up on that ice crystal there, B. Now this next gorilla, and well, I guess we killed him. And this tiger you just take up top. This is my favorite dungeon, man. The looks, the sounds, the animals, and all that stuff. Such a dope dungeon. I need to get Relentless Freedom on my clothing because I'm tired of getting stuck in this ice and just sitting there like derp. Hey, we're all just standing here looking around at each other. Stamina damage is important on this guy. If someone goes down here like this guy, spear guy can enfeebling skewer and then start to revive. Really need the greatsword or any heavy stamina damage weapon on this guy to knock him, because he moves and pushes the tank around, and it's best just to keep this guy down. Now, if you're using the spore potion for the extra damage, it's worth it to go over there and go grab it before you start engaging this guy, because man, the armor on this guy and the amount of health he has, you can benefit a lot more getting it now than waiting to kill him and then getting it after. Don't forget about the turtle over there on the left, which it looks like they forgot. And of course I forgot. Hey. Now right here, I always like to run ahead and aggro these two gorillas to bring them down to me. And since I have the greatsword, it's really not an issue. So I can go into defiant stance and they will not really be able to hurt me or anything. I wait for the tank to come up, but someone else hit them, and now you see why you don't want to do that. So we corrected it in the next few runs, and that way they jump down really fast instead of sitting up there and throwing stuff. And so they wanted to pull the mammoth out. Watch out for that fire that he initially shoots and this slam. Swing and a miss. Swing and a miss. Block or dodge. One one of my favorite parts of the whole dungeon, walking through here. Looks like something out of Avatar. Here's a situation where a lot of people follow right behind the tank, and usually the gorillas will come up and hit them. I always like to give the tank some room, but it's really easy for the tank to re-grab aggro on these guys and get them grouped up with a great axe, so not a big deal. But just pay attention to it, because they will charge it and hit you. Going into this first boss fight, you need to know the mechanics if you're at an M3 level. Do not get into M3 if you do not know the mechanics. It's the most frustrating thing about this. It happened yesterday, and the guy ended up quitting and leaving. Because I think we all had something, you know, very nice things to say to him, by the way. And he just wanted out of it. But having all opal set here, because there's different elements. So go make a whole set, all opals, enchanted ward, health, whatever you want to do. Right here, my stats, I think we're 357 strength, 200 dex, 5 con, and I'm going all 3 throwables on the hatchet with a slash ring. I got Enfeebling Skewer and Lifesteal Vicious on the spear, so not going to be doing much damage with the spear. But the hatchet is where it really gets into some good damage. So when it comes to this part, I always like to be the first one to grab whichever element. Because a lot of times I just don't trust other DPS, and with my hatchet, I can just sit back, wait for the thing to spawn, and go ahead. And it lets me take one of the elements out of the equation, so we don't have some random circle flying around for, you know, the early part.
I knew that shit was gonna happen.
If that makes sense, you know?
Can you guys rest?
And you can dodge. If you are not the fire guy and you were in that circle, you can dodge it and it won't hit you. You just gotta time it right. Make sure you get in that circle. I dodged him. I don't want to be weak and I gotta get nerfed, bruh. I'm too strong. I ended up getting it back. So I went away from Berserk and put on the social distance throw. So some of these, you'll see me, my mind is thinking hit Berserk with the F key. And I end up probably throwing the hatchet in the ground, so getting kind of used to having all 3 throwables. But with Freya, the artifact hatchet, man, the cooldowns are so fast, and you can just constantly have abilities going. Another reason I like staying the farthest away range, because I can dodge that guy's leap and attacks pretty easily. I don't, oh my goodness. Don't trust a lot of randoms when it comes to that. That guy was ice ring with that ice coming to me, so wasn't a big deal resing him right there. It's not gonna hurt him. Ooh, boom. He's out. That landing that the gorilla did will hurt him. There's me throwing a hatchet at the ice. Like, get away from me, bruh. Of course, I got weakened now. But I would rather have this ice circle on me doing this instead of in the middle. And I would like to also have the gorilla jumping at me random times like that. Pretty confident in my abilities. So hopefully that doesn't sound a certain way, but this fight isn't that hard when you play it enough too much. Oh no, my fire's getting away. Watch out, electricity guy. Constantly checking to see when the fire is going to spawn. Right here he goes into void mode, I think. Or coming up he does. Yeah, there he goes. Which is such a cool effect when he slaps his hand like that. Holy shit. tank went down, so it's very important to get him up.
I'm dead. Try to stay alive.
I think that was the tank.
I ran right into that void.
Don't forget, when you get close to killing this guy, if any circles are on the ground, they will explode, so you need to dodge, double dodge, triple dodge. Dip, duck, dive, dip, and dodge. Whoa.
Nice. Good job, boys. Dude,
And that's how you do that fight. And we were down 1 DPS,
Yeah,
so it took a little bit longer than what it should.
Yeah, I was like running around trying to cleanse everyone, and then I just like ran into the clap. That was just bad timing.
You don't need to go down there and kill those flowers at the bottom. A lot of people want to do it for mob count. You know, you're going for point run, sure. If you want to do that, fine. Have a throwable, and you can just shoot them. They will not regain health, even if you're on the stairs, which is pretty cool. But you don't need them for gold. Now coming up, there's a gorilla on the bottom left here. The DPS need to jump on the gorilla and take them out. The tank can go ahead and head down and get all the others gathered up. But the gorilla here to the left does some ice damage. He's pretty strong, so it's good to take him out quick. The other gorilla up top left is good to take out because they just sit back a lot of time and, you know, throw stuff. Very tricky situation here on where to get, so you're gonna have to watch for stomps. Hit your map button at the same time. I gotta rebind that. Do it way too often. And when you switch back to your original class to run the dungeons or the mob area, then it won't show that you have your infused coating on or your powerful coating on, whatever you're using. But it is there, I'm pretty sure. I think it's just a visual glitch. You know, if you know that for 100% in the comments, go ahead and leave it. But it won't show it. And man, a lot of times I just recoat and I just burn through coatings, but that's something they need to really fix. It's super annoying. Now DPS needs to be on these two gorillas first, and they're not. So I'm gonna go He-Man mode and try not to die. I don't know. Though some of those numbers I'm hitting right there, it makes me think my coating is not on the weapon. Some low damage. Yeah, it's with Oblivion down, only hitting 10 to 12k. So I don't know, man. I think I should have recoated. Should be around that 13 to 15 range on that. That's a good thing with Serenity. A lot of times you're going to be doing good damage pretty much no matter what. You got trenching strikes, trenching crits. Whew. Now this was a terrible pull, okay? One of the DPS I said, hey, don't hit that guy because the tank's up top. You're going to get aggro and you're going to get killed. All right, you got to just come up top, let the tank kind of figure out where to go. We're not doing a speed run. We don't need a haul butt and just start swinging off on stuff. and now it's just a pure cluster of. All we need is someone to grab the ball in the middle of all this just to make it even worse. Oh, I wanted to swing on that flower. Watch out. Now Tank needs to have his back toward the door and get close to the door. All the DPS need to be on this side where we're just fighting. They were all starting to run. I had to be like, had to yell at them, "Hey, come back here!" Because how do you not know all these guys are going to come down? You gotta know the dungeons, people.
I feel like I got no drops in this dungeon.
I was telling him, yeah, it's probably because it's under all the animals. You gotta clear them out and then find your bag. But right here, I'm gonna go ahead and get this going because no point in me fighting those enemies. They're easy to take out.
Yep, there it is. Under all this shit.
Always trying to just advance and get to the, you know, next area going because time save. Right here, you really want the tank to go up first. If we're all gathered up like this, that guy can aggro on pretty much anybody. These two small gorillas are always easy to take out first, and then you can focus on the main one. Tank can start pulling this guy up toward the door that you're about to go through next. Or you can just fight him right here on the platform. I did manage to get my 20k hit this week though, and now I'm gonna go for a 21k hit soon. What you could do also with that spore is everybody go to the far right and leave that spore, so when you get done and you're about to go up to where the boss area is, come back, get your buff if you have the spore potion on. And that way you can go into the boss fight with the buff. I saw this DPS back here swinging on this guy. Not supposed to do that, but since he wanted to, I figured I'd help him out. Usually tank's gonna pull all these guys. If the tank does pull those gorillas and wants to, you know, have them come closer, he needs to go around the corner and not fight right here in the open because they will sit back. If you go right up here to where that button is, go around to the right, that would be the best spot. That will force the other gorillas to line of sight up to you. Run! I'm gonna try to reap this guy a little closer. There we go. That grab well did nothing but give us a little fortify. In this room, you make sure you pop the jellyfish first. Make sure the tank goes down as far as he can to pull the iguanas to where the bags are facing us. pretty easy to kill, so not a big threat. Whoever grabs the ball here, I had to tell him, hey, don't run nowhere because the gorillas are going to come down. So Tank needs to aggro the gorillas. He can line of sight them around this wall if he wants. But you're going to have to take those two out. And you can see some of the, you know, hey, we're a random group here. No one knows, and we don't have a clear leader. Which should be the tank always. A lot of times I'll get in the group and be like, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But as DPS, you kind of sound like an asshole. So, you know, it is what it is, though. So he's going to pull this guy out. That's why I was waiting to hit that other DPS, you know, full throttle, baby. Now, I think the iguana is probably the most important to take out. But if we would have just went over there, we would have got sideswiped by the big guy here. Got aggro on the big guy, not a big problem, just figure it out. Stamina damage on him, get him down. That gypsum vein always like to say, hey Tank, do you want this? You know, because, you know, he's a Tank, man. You gotta give him a reward every now and then, man. Gotta look out for my tanks out there. Tanks and healers. Right here, we're all praying to the New World gods.
Alright, I'm ready.
Making sure my coating's on for this fight. Well, watch out if you go in, because I got aggro right here, so you gotta wait for the tank to kind of grab it. If I would have just went in there and started swinging, probably would have got knocked by a slam or a, you know, some sort of hit. Make sure the laser's not targeting me. I'm not gonna end up getting rid of the weekend, so I'm just gonna back up here. I'm 5-con in this fight. Full 5-con, no Ratoon leather pants. 357 strength, I believe. I'll have a video coming out about my whole gear set, both the gear sets and stats tomorrow. Always gotta take out these little floating balls. Oh my god, my health. And any conduits that are on the ground, they should be priority. And they do damage to the boss, so make sure you take them out. They're important, especially if there's electricity on there. And when you see an electricity one, the lightning, you need to spread out because it will go from body to body. I'm not sure if I'm going to stay with Opal in the Freya here, because you do have to dodge to get the benefit of it, and it seems like I'm staying full health a pretty good amount of time, so Diamond would be better. I would like to save my stamina for any situation that may come up, like a conduit spawning underneath me. So if you're rocking Opal in your weapon, keep that in mind. You don't have dots in your back like last week's Glacial Tarn dungeon, so it's not really a problem. I do have on an arcane amulet to protect against that laser. You can choose whether to have the lightning or the arcane one, but I would recommend either one. You know, or it's got to be one of those two. Watch out. Right there, I could have not hit the conduit and just stayed behind, but wasn't worried about the laser too much. If you do get the weakening circle, then you can take it around everybody, but not a big deal. Like I said, we're not doing a speed run or anything like that, so I'd rather you be safe and survive than run around and get hit by fire because you're not paying attention. We had one guy fully die out. I didn't even notice. Oh, that's some good damage right there. As long as you're running, that arcane won't take any health from you. All right, let's go.
Nice. Let's go.
Oh, I wanted emo, man. But that's how you do it. Now, if you got a tank that has good aggro and whatnot, go with the infused coating so you can do more damage, obviously. And there we go. We got good point totals. We only had 3 respawns, and that was just some random group put together.
I feel like we could have done a little bit better.
We ended up running some more after this, and man, it turned out really nice. So it was really good meeting these guys. If you're watching, hey, let's run again tonight. And like I said, I should be streaming tonight, and be sure to tune in. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll answer them. If you're new here, check out other videos I got that are how to run M3s. Boss, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for your time and watching. Later.
It almost guarantees that you get the kill eventually.